I want to go home. 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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare. Hey, I want to go home, man. I want to go home. Don't you want to go home? I want to go home, man. I want to go home. Don't you want to go home too? Don't you want to go home? I want to go home, man. I definitely want to go home. I want to go home. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I want to go home. I want to go home. Hare Krishna. Wow. All right. So, I just read something about Krishna. Let's read something about Krishna. Okay. Oh, good. Trnavarta. Yeah, Trnavarta, the whirlwind. Trnavarta, the whirlwind. The Supreme Personality Godhead, Krishna, is always full of 6 opulences, namely complete wealth, complete strength, complete fame, complete knowledge, complete beauty, and complete renunciation. Well, I feel better just hearing that, you know. Yeah, just hearing how perfect Krishna is. Yeah, he's full of everything. That makes me feel a lot better to know that. Yeah. Krishna. Krishna's complete. Yeah, he is. He's complete. Hare Krishna. All right. Yeah. The Lord appears in different, complete, eternal forms of incarnation. The conditioned soul has immense opportunity to hear about the transcendental activities of the Lord in these different incarnations. The conditioned soul has immense opportunity to hear about these different transcendental activities of the Lord in these different incarnations. Yeah. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Janma karma chame divyam. The pastimes and activities of the Lord are not material. The pastimes and activities of the Lord are not material. The pastimes and activities of the Lord are not material. They are beyond the material conception. But the conditioned soul can benefit by hearing such uncommon activities. Hearing is an opportunity to associate with the Lord. Hearing is an opportunity to associate with the Lord. To hear his activities is to evolve to the transcendental nature simply by hearing. The conditioned soul has a natural aptitude to hear something about other conditioned souls in the form of fiction, drama, and novel. That inclination to hear something about others may be utilized in hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Then one can immediately evolve to his transcendental nature. Krishna's pastimes are not only beautiful, they are also very pleasing to the mind. If someone takes advantage of hearing the pastimes of the Lord, the material contamination of dust accumulated in the heart due to long association with material nature can be immediately cleansed. Lord Chaitanya also instructed that simply by hearing transcendental name of Lord Krishna, one can cleanse the heart of all material contamination. There are different processes for self-realization, but this process of devotional service, of which hearing is the most important function, when adopted by any conditioned soul, will automatically cleanse him of the material contamination and enable him to realize his real constitutional position. Conditional life is due to this accumulation only, and as soon as it is cleared off, then naturally the dormant function of the living entity, rendering service to the Lord, awakens. By developing his eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord, one becomes eligible to create friendship with the devotees. Maharaj Parikshit recommended from practical experience that everyone try to hear about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. This Krishna treatise is meant for that purpose, and the reader may take advantage in order to attain the ultimate goal of human life. The Lord, out of his causeless mercy, descends on this material world and displays his activities just like an ordinary man. Unfortunately, the impious entities, or the atheistic class of men, consider Krishna to be an ordinary man like themselves, and they deride him. This is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita by the Lord himself when he says, Avachananti mam mudha. The mudas, or the rascals, take Krishna to be an ordinary man, or slightly more powerful man. Out of their great misfortune, they cannot accept him as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes such unfortunate persons misrepresent themselves as incarnations of Krishna without referring to the authorized scriptures. When Krishna grew up a little more, he began to turn himself backside up. He did not merely lie down on his back. And another function was observed by Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj. Krishna's first birthday. They arranged for Krishna's birthday ceremony, which is still observed by all followers of the Vedic principles. Krishna's birthday ceremony is observed in India by all Hindus, irrespective of different sectarian views. All the cowherd men and women were invited to participate, and they arrived in jubilation. A nice band played, and the people assembled enjoyed it. All the learned brahmanas were invited, and they chanted Vedic hymns for the good fortune of Krishna. During the chanting of the Vedic hymns and playing of the bands, Krishna was bathed by Mother Yasoda. This bathing ceremony is technically called Abhishek, and even today this is observed in all the temples of Vrindavan as Janmashtami Day, or the birthday anniversary of Lord Krishna. On this occasion, Mother Yasoda arranged to distribute a large quantity of grains, and first-class cows decorated with golden ornaments were made ready to be given in charity to the learned, respectable brahmanas. Yasoda took her bath and dressed herself nicely, and taking child Krishna, duly dressed and bathed, on her lap, she sat down to hear the Vedic hymns chanted by the brahmanas. While listening to the chanting of the Vedic hymns, the child appeared to be falling asleep. And therefore Mother Yasoda very silently laid him down on the bed. Being engaged in receiving all the friends, relatives, and residents of Vrindavan on that holy occasion, she forgot to feed the child milk. He was crying, being hungry, but Mother Yasoda could not hear him cry because of the various noises. The child, however, became angry because he was hungry, and his mother was not paying attention to him. So he lifted his legs and began to kick his lotus feet just like an ordinary child. Baby Krishna had been placed underneath a hand-driven cart, and while he was kicking his legs, he accidentally touched the wheel of the cart, and it collapsed. Various kinds of utensils, brass and metal dishes, had been piled up in the hand cart, and they all fell down with a great noise. The wheel of the cart separated from the axle, and the spokes of the wheel were all broken and scattered hither and thither. Mother Yasoda and all the gopis, as well as Maharaj Nanda and the cowherd men, were astonished as to how the cart could have collapsed by itself. All the men and women who were assembled for the holy function crowded around and began to suggest how the cart might have collapsed. No one could ascertain the cause, but some small children who were entrusted to play with baby Krishna informed the crowd that it was due to Krishna's striking his feet against the wheel. They assured the crowd that they had seen how it happened with their own eyes, and they strongly asserted the point. Some were listening to the statement of the small children, but others said, "How can you believe the statements of these children?" The cowherd men and women could not understand that the all-powerful personality of Godhead was lying there as a baby, and he could do anything. Both the possible and impossible were in his power. While the discussion was going on, baby Krishna cried. Without remonstration, Mother Yasoda picked the child up on her lap and called the learned brahmanas to chant holy Vedic hymns to counteract the evil spirits. At the same time, she allowed the baby to suck her breast. If a child sucks the mother's breast nicely, it is to be understood that he is out of all danger. After this, all the stronger cowherd men put the broken cart in order, and all the scattered things were set up nicely as before. The brahmanas thereafter began to offer oblations to the sacrificial fire with yogurt, butter, kusha grass, and water. They worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the good fortune of the child. The brahmanas who were present at that time were all qualified brahmanas because they were not envious. They never indulged in untruthfulness. They were never proud. They were non-violent. And they never claimed any false prestige. They were all bona fide brahmanas, and there was no reason to think that their blessing would be useless. With firm faith in the qualified brahmanas, Nanda Maharaj took his child on his lap and bathed him with water mixed with various herbs, while the brahmanas chanted hymns from the Rig, Yajur, and Samavedas. It is said that without being a qualified brahmana, one should not read the mantras of the Vedas. Here is the proof that the brahmanas were qualified with all the Brahminical symptoms. Maharaj Nanda also had full faith in them. Therefore, they were allowed to perform the ritualistic ceremonies by chanting the Vedic mantras. There are many different varieties of sacrifices recommended for different purposes, but the mantras are to be chanted by qualified brahmanas. And because in this age of Kali, such qualified brahmanas are not available, all Vedic ritualistic sacrifices are forbidden. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore recommended only one kind of sacrifice in this age, namely Sankirtan Yagna, or simply chanting the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As the brahmanas chanted the Vedic hymns and performed the ritualistic ceremonies for the second time, Nanda Maharaj again gave huge quantities of grains and many cows to them. All the cows which were given in charity were covered with nice gold-embroidered garments, and their horns were bedecked with golden rings. The hoofs were covered with silver plate, and they wore garlands of flowers. He gave so many cows just for the welfare of his wonderful child, and the Brahmanas in return bestowed their heartfelt blessing. And the blessings offered by the able Brahmanas were never to be baffled. One day, shortly after this ceremony, when Mother Yasoda was patting her baby on her lap, the baby felt too heavy, and being unable to carry him, she unwillingly placed him on the ground. After a while, she became engaged in household affairs. At that time, one of the servants of Kamsa, known as Trnavarta, as instructed by Kamsa, appeared there in the shape of a whirlwind. He picked the child up on his shoulders and raised a great dust storm all over Vrindavan. Because of this, everyone's eyes became covered within a few moments, and the whole area of Vrindavan became densely dark, so that no one could see himself or anyone else. During this great catastrophe, Mother Yasoda could not see her baby, who was taken away by the whirlwind, and she began to cry very piteously. She fell down on the ground exactly like a cow who has just lost her calf. When Mother Yasoda was so piteously crying, all the cowherd women immediately came and began to look for the baby. But they were disappointed and could not find him. The Trnavarta demon who took baby Krishna on his shoulder went high in the sky, but the baby assumed such a weight that suddenly he could not go any further, and he had to stop his whirlwind activities. Baby Krishna made himself heavy and began to weigh down the demon. The Lord caught hold of his neck. Trnavarta felt the baby to be as heavy as a big mountain, and he tried to get out of his clutches, but he was unable to do so. And his eyes popped out from their sockets. Crying very fiercely, he fell down to the ground of Vrindavan and died. The demon fell exactly like Tripurashura, who was pierced by the arrow of Lord Shiva. He hit the stone ground, and his limbs were smashed. His body became visible to all the inhabitants of Vrindavan. When the gopis saw the demon killed and child Krishna very happily playing on his body, they immediately picked Krishna up with great affection. The cowherd men and women became very happy to get back their beloved child, Krishna. At that time, they began to talk about how wonderful it was that the demon took away the child to devour him, but could not do so. Instead, he fell down dead. Some of them supported the situation. Quote, "This is proper because those who are too sinful die from their sinful reactions, and child Krishna is pious. Therefore, he is saved from all kinds of fearful situations. And we too must have performed great sacrifices in our previous lives, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, giving great wealth in charity, and acting philanthropically for the general welfare of men. Because of such pious activities, the child will be saved from all danger." The gopis assembled there spoke among themselves. "What sort of austerities and penances we must have undergone in our previous lives. We must have worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, offered different kinds of sacrifices, made charities, and performed many welfare activities for the public, such as growing banyan trees and excavating wells. As a result of these pious activities, we have got back our child, even though he was supposed to be dead. Now he has come back to enliven his relatives. After observing such wonderful happenings, Nanda Maharaj began to think of the words of Vasudeva again and again. After this incident, when Yasoda once was nursing her child and patting him with great affection, there streamed a profuse supply of milk from her breast. And when she opened the mouth of the child with her fingers, she suddenly saw the universal manifestation within his mouth. She saw within the mouth of Krishna the whole sky, including the luminaries, stars in all directions, the sun, moon, fire, air, seas, islands, mountains, rivers, forests, and all other movable and immovable entities. Upon seeing this, Mother Yasoda's heart began to throb, and she murmured within herself, "How wonderful this is." She could not express anything, but simply closed her eyes. She was absorbed in wonderful thoughts. Krishna showing the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even when lying down on the lap of his mother, proves that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether he is manifested as a child on the lap of his mother or as a charioteer on the battlefield of Krishna. The concoction of the impersonalist that one can become God by meditation or by some artificial material activities is herewith declared false. God is always God, in any condition or status, and the living entities are always the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. They can never be equal to the inconceivable, supernatural power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 7th chapter of Krishna, Salvation of Trnavarta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Govinda. Yeah, these pastimes are they're not just stories, like that you would read to children before they go to sleep or something. They're actually describing the spiritual forces as Trnavarta demon. He appeared in Vrindavan as a whirlwind to try to destroy Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur discusses this also, how to understand these demons. There are those who actually try to destroy Krishna by causing a big commotion. Now, the thing about the demons is they see Krishna. They are Krishna conscious to that degree that they can distinguish Krishna. Trnavarta saw Krishna in Vrindavan. But his mission was to destroy Krishna, which would ultimately destroy Vrindavan also. So the way he was going to do that was to stir everything up make a big whirlwind, like a twister or tornado, and just suck everything up into this whirlwind. And in that way, he would be able to get Krishna away from everything and destroy the whole atmosphere and kill the baby. So, in Krishna consciousness, those of us that are practicing this bhakti yoga can see that demonic mentality in people that are Krishna conscious. But they present Krishna in such a way as to cause a big commotion. And destroys to try to destroy the beautiful and simple manifestation of Krishna. For instance, they'll come with a lot of quotes, a lot of arguments, and just keep flooding it all out there and cause a big commotion. When a point could be made very simply, supposedly making some point in Krishna consciousness, serving Krishna in a certain way. It could be done very simply, but instead, you make a big commotion. And then Krishna is lost in their commotion, even though they are Krishna conscious and they're quoting everything about Krishna, this, Krishna, that. Krishna is actually lost in the whirlwind that they create. It is a kind of demonic mentality. It's really tricky stuff. But this Krishna book is really, it's a guide. It's like a guide to who's who in the spiritual world. And these demonic mentalities are there. The closer someone gets to actually surrendering to Krishna in ecstatic love, spontaneous ecstatic love, then they begin to see how these energies are working. They can recognize the Trnavarta, can recognize the Agashura, can recognize the Kaliya, can recognize these different demons. And these demons are all Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The devotee who's causing the commotion, see, there's a devotee who is throwing out all these quotes. It makes it impossible to just share realizations or give testimony. That's not what that devotee is about. They're not about testimony. They're about causing a big commotion, confusing everything, and losing Krishna, chasing Krishna. The devotee who does that, they do it because they're unconscious. They're not experiencing any kind of spontaneous devotional service to the Lord. They probably think that they're actually serving Krishna, when really, because of their unconscious state and making this big commotion, they're actually playing the part of Trnavarta. Now, what happens to the demons when Krishna kills them? What happens to them? They get liberation. Because they are Krishna conscious. But they're a disturbance to the topmost spiritual planet. They're a disturbance. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. What happens is when there are ecstatic devotees who are absorbed in love of God, in ecstasy, ecstatic worship, Krishna manifests there because Krishna is attracted. That's really the only thing that attracts Krishna, is ecstatic love. And when an ecstatic devotee is present, that's when you start to see all these things. Devotees who aren't in the ecstatic worship, who are simply practicing and stuffing their brains with knowledge and trying to follow umpteen zillion rules, but aren't attracting the Lord by their ecstatic love, then they play those parts. They play the part, those devotees play those parts. They play the part of Putana, the false guru. They play the part of Trnavarta, causing a big commotion. They play the part of Kaliya. And it all comes out, all these demons come out when there's an ecstatic devotee present. Because when there's an ecstatic devotee present, Krishna, in his ecstatic form, in Vrindavan Krishna, is present. And it becomes very clear, crystal clear, that the goal of life is to somehow or other be fortunate enough to find the association of an ecstatic devotee of the Lord, devotee who worships the Lord in ecstasy. And not play the part of a demon when you're in their presence. There are other parts that can be played when in the presence of an ecstatic devotee, other than the demon parts. There are other parts that can be played. Devotional parts, friendship, parental mood, servant, conjugal mood. They're all available in the presence of the ecstatic devotee because Krishna is present there in his ecstatic form. It's all in the books. It's all there. Because these books have been written. The Vaishnava literature is written by ecstatic devotees. That's the line. This is a line of ecstatic worship of the Lord coming from Lord Chaitanya because he introduced the ecstatic mood of love and separation from Krishna. It's all there in the books. But it remains hidden, even though devotees read all these things. The real purport remains hidden until the ecstatic devotee pulls the real message out, the living representative of what's in the book. They become a living embodiment of the ecstasy that was shared by those ecstatic devotees who wrote the books or spoke the books and then wrote them down. Yeah, we find association like that, boy. That's the perfection of life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And one such devotee can transform unlimited devotees into the same ecstasy, become the same living example of love of God. Hare Krishna, in perfection. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. It takes as one candle to light all the others. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. The only qualification, really, is sincerity and very strong desire. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Just some thoughts on a Tuesday night after a few encounters today with a few demonic devotees. They don't realize they're sincere souls, but until they make that breakthrough and they accept the ecstasy, they're going to be playing these other parts. They're going to be playing the part of Trnavarta. They're going to be playing the part of Kaliya. They'll be doing the Agasura thing. They're forced to, because if not, accepting and acknowledging the ecstasy when it's right there before them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And the ecstatic devotee gets to see all the pastimes unfold, and it keeps going. It doesn't stop. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I have a feeling that dealing with a lot of the demons now, they're going to be killed, and then the actual loving devotees will start to manifest. So a lot of demons now, but we'll see. Hare Krishna, I can hardly wait. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare. In the meantime, we'll keep doing what it is we're doing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Keep hearing from the ecstatic devotee. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I offer my most humble obeisances by keeping my feet at my head. I don't know why I keep my head. By keeping my head at the feet of Srila Gaura Haridas and his devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.